Yo, welcome back to Tromonteandfriendsboxing. Please like and subscribe, and we're gonna get right into it. You don't play boxing. Why did I decide to create a boxing YouTube channel? What was the reason? Where was it contrived from? What was the inspiration behind it? I've had this idea for like a year, solid. And one day I was sitting in the bed with my wife. I was like, I want to start a boxing YouTube channel. And she knows throughout the course of, our marriage and our relationship and just my background, I've always watched boxing since a child. I always wanted to give my input, and just add a different voice to what's out there in the ether. And my wife is very supportive. I have another podcast that I started and I ended called Tremonte and Friends on another channel. So I kind of, knew what to do, so to speak, but I didn't act on it. So I was like, I just had this idea and I was like, I might do it. And she was like, just do it. Just go for it. And the inspiration came from, I first want to, shout out to anybody in any industry, especially if you're on YouTube, if you've paved the way for others to come behind you to succeed. So I want to shout out Phenom Boxing, International Boxing, his channel. I want to shout out Showbiz the Adult. I want to shout out YSM Media. I remember when YSM Media's channel was small, and he's based out in Philly, boxing aficionado, and he started growing. I think now he's like, if he's not at 60,000 subscribers, I remember it. So salute to him. Blue Blood, salute to him. Champ Side, Boxing Ego, Mill City Boxing, Angry Man Podcast. I apologize if I'm leaving anybody out, but I would watch their podcasts and I was like, I can do this. And each of them provides something different. They're not all the same, but they're all covering different variations of boxing, whether it's fights, whether it's predictions, whether it's, rumors. Or I know some of them have, behind the scenes sources. They will cover reviews for fights after they happen. They would interview fighters, past fighters, current fighters, young fighters. I was like, man, this is something I want to get into because boxing is my favorite sport. Growing up, I was born in '87. So growing up, both of my brothers boxed. They weren't like stellar amateurs or nothing like that, but they boxed. They were always in the gym. And, naturally as a kid, it's like the baby brother you want to follow. So, but we all used to fight in the streets. I grew up in the projects. I'm from Tampa, Florida. So we all fight in the streets, but it's different when you're fighting somebody who knows how to fight. Street fighting and boxing is a different beast. And you would know it because when I first got in the gym and I put on some gloves and I started to fight, got my ass kicked. And when you keep getting your ass kicked, you learn what to do. You learn what to do. You learn the nuances of boxing. You learn that you're not conditioned. You learn that in the street fights last 2-3 minutes max. And usually that's before somebody intervenes. In boxing, you don't have anybody intervening unless it's an official fight and it's a referee. So that, taught me, I was like, oh, this is not as easy as I thought. But, watching it on TV, like casuals do, they think it's an easy thing to implement. It's like, well, I could do that, or I could go out and do that. And I'll touch on that later about people being too critical of fighters. But throughout the years, watching classic fighters, De La Hoya, B-Hop, late Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Felix Trinidad, just watching, Sweet Pea, and then into the more modern era of Floyd and Manny and Andre Ward. I was like, man, I want to see what I can do in this space. And one of the things that I could provide, because you can't copy what other people are doing. You have to pave your own way and you have to find whatever your niche is. And my niche is I get right to it. After my intro, the intro that y'all see in the videos, that's my only intro. I get right into it. I welcome y'all in and we hop, right into whatever the subject matter is for the day. And that helps me get to things quicker, because I'm all about efficiency. But I am by no means, an island. My wife, helps me out just with ideas, and watching other YouTubers talk about boxing is is inspiring, and it kind of galvanizes a community of us that we're kind of in the same boat, man. Even if we talk about different things, we may not agree with each other, but we don't have to be disagreeable about everything, because we all love the sport for whatever reason. I know some YouTubers have boxed before, some of them haven't, but offering a fresh perspective on a fight or a fighter or a situation that is going down, it only helps us grow. It only helps us grow. And, my story is very similar to a lot of those YouTubers who are, much bigger than me, in that I kind of have a background in boxing, not an extensive background. I wasn't an amateur or nothing like that. I don't have official fights, but I was in the gym a lot and I sparred a lot. And I was like, man, you know what? This is a new day and age. People want content. They want content fast. And if I can cut on my camera, I cut on my phone camera and I can record, we can see what we could do and see if we can get something out of it. And life is short, man. Life is short. I want to tell anybody who gets to the point of watching this video, whether you watch it years later or you watch it now, the message will remain the same. Go after your dreams, man. Fuck whatever your family's talking about. Fuck whatever. If you with somebody and they doubt you, fuck it. Go for it. Go for it, because life is fragile. The mind is delicate. And whatever you decide to do or don't decide to do within the next 5 to 10 years, the time is going to pass anyway. You can lose a lot of things in life. You can lose money, you can lose your house, and to some extreme degree, you can lose your mind. And, you can argue you can get some of those things back, right? One thing you can't get back is time. Time chasing something that pushes you, something that challenges you, something that makes you happy and brings you inner peace. It's just simply something you enjoy. Whatever it is, I don't care if you want to go plant a garden. I don't know if you want to have a greenhouse. You want to go get, more education. You want to, whatever it is that is sitting on your spirit, man, go after it. There is no success without failure. I failed so many times with podcasts and creative ventures, and I don't have a background in like podcasting, like on boxing. My background is human resources. That's my day job that I do. And that's my career, unless, this YouTube thing works out. But go after what you want, man. I have failed more than I've succeeded in life. And I come from the projects. Again, I could take you where I'm from. It's not there anymore. They tore it down and built something up. Gentrification is a real thing. But please, whoever watches this, where I don't care how much it costs, man, step by step. But don't go throughout life not chasing what you really want to chase. If you're done chasing, it's different. I can't say nothing to you. But if you're like, man, this is on my heart and I really want to do this, man, go after it. I don't care if the whole world tells you no. Just do it and see what comes of it. Who knows? And speak from a place of abundance and not a place of lack. Like, oh, this will never happen. Detach yourself from the result. Just be like, hey, I'm going to do it. If it happens, if it works out, it's going to work out. And then having people around you who support you, having people around you who are there for you, and people who can give you sound advice and wisdom, or somebody to just listen to you vent, that means more than anything, man. It means more than anything. So we're going to see where this channel goes. Again, shout out to all the YouTubers I previously mentioned at the beginning of the video, because they help inspire me and they help me to realize that, they're just regular people like me. If you can get on and you can talk about boxing in your own way, somebody out there will appreciate it. If you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be a mechanic, I don't give a fuck what it is. And this is me telling you. I've accomplished a lot in life, man. And I say that confidently. I don't mean to be hubris. I got 3 degrees. I'm SHRM certified in my field of HR. I might go get my PhD. I've done a lot. And coming from nobody in my family went to college. Nobody went to college, let alone graduate. And I want to go get a doctorate degree. So I've done quite a bit, and I've maintained my integrity doing so. But I can't take none of this stuff with me, man. It don't matter like that. I can't take it with me. All that matters to me is doing things that you love to do, man. Even if it's not your daily job, you can find a hobby where you can do something that you love to do, and just be careful and be good. When I say be careful, I'm saying be mindful about what you're doing. Just don't waste your time. Don't waste your time and go after it, man. What's stopping you? Usually what I've learned with people, the only thing that's in their way is them. And when I was in my early 20s, I was in my own way. Now I stepped out of the way and I just let the process flow. And here we are. So please like and subscribe again. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who ever gets a chance to come across my channel, man. Even if you don't subscribe, and I know that's like counterintuitive to say, even if you don't subscribe, you don't comment, you don't like what I'm saying, I hope you take something away from the video beyond boxing in this life. And the metaphor is when you're in the ring, when you're in that square circle, you can't run away from everything. Sometimes you have to sit there and fight to win. Sometimes you may get knocked down, but hey, if you lose the fight, you get out of the ring, you recover, you come back and you fight again. That's how life goes until the end. Peace and love. Talk to y'all soon.